Again, what we're doing for today is called two-way frequency tables. Basically, where it's a table that has like two different pieces of data going into it, okay? So you are going to learn today how to make that. And it's really, really easy. I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? First of all, you need to know what the different names are of the different parts, okay? So this whole thing is called a two-way table. But the little parts, okay? So like the little parts on the inside, so like you see that 8 right there? That's called the joint frequency. Okay, and frequency is just a fancy way to say how many times did it happen. Okay, so a junior that was employed happened 8 times out of how many people? How many people are there total in the whole table? 45. See where it says totals? That's how many people they surveyed. So this right here, I know I didn't write it on there, but that number, that represents all of your population. So out of the 45 people that they surveyed, out of juniors and seniors, 8 of them were employed juniors. So the other part, this other box, you see where it says the totals? It's the totals of what? It's the total juniors that they surveyed. This is called a marginal frequency. Okay, a marginal frequency is how many of like a whole category. Okay, so that's how many there were for the whole category of juniors. So that's marginal. So do we see the difference between joint and marginal? Okay, all right, because that's important. You're gonna need that in like 10 minutes. Okay, all right, so first things first, you have to learn how to read a fun paragraph like this and fill in a table, okay? I don't know why they gave you such big numbers, but they did. I'm very sorry, but yeah, I know. They gave you super big numbers. It'll be fine. We'll be good. So this one's talking about all of the different names of different people for like a certain year, okay? So let's see, why can't I get this to work? Okay. So again, for the different names, it says first of all that the names in the U.S. were Casey and Riley, with how many Caseys? So that's the total for what? Total for Casey's. So where should you put that? On totals under Casey's. Good. Write it down. Okay. So we're gonna put that really big number, 176,544. That's how many Casey's there were total for all the Casey's. And then it says there was that many Rileys. So where should that go? Under Riley's for the totals. So 14861. Okay, and it says during that time there were this many males with the name Casey. So where do I put that? Next to males and Casey's. So I'm going to put 104161. And then it says there was this many females with the name Riley. So where do I put that? Females and Riley. So 75882. Now it says organize the data in a table. So that's all the information they gave you. You have to fill in all of the gaps. Okay? So what could you find first? Could you find the female Casey's?
Yeah.
Because you know how many Casey's we have and how many of them are guy Casey's. We just need to find the girl Casey's. So what do you do with those numbers? All right, start subtracting. This is where calculators are your best friends because those are big numbers. Okay, and what should we get? Yep. So we should get 7, 2, 3, 8, 3. Okay, what could you find next?
The females for Riley.
Well, we already know females for Riley.
The males for Riley.
How do we find the males for Riley?
You add them. Subtract, sorry.
There you go. So we're going to subtract our total Rileys from our girl Rileys to find our boy Rileys. So 154,861 minus 758,82. And we should get how many?
80,907.
Huh? I don't know what I got.
Got 78,000.
What is it?
78,000.
Yeah, that's what I got. Okay. I got 78979, right? Is that what you got? When you do this minus this?
I still got 80,000.
Do you have the numbers written right?
Oh, wait.
Oh, okay. That was it. One of them wasn't written right. All right. Now, can you find the totals? Yeah. Okay. Now we can find the totals. So you need to add up all the boys, add up all the girls, and then add up all of the humans total. So let's see. What should we get for all of the boys? How many boys do we get? 183 what? Yep, good. That's what I got. All right, now we need all the girls.
148,666.
I know. That's how I typed it in wrong. All right, what was it again?
148,648,000.
Cool. That's what I got. 148,265. Okay, now this one is your choice. You can add up these two for your males and females and get the total humans, or you can do the Caseys and the Rileys to get total humans. It's up to you. Yes, you should get the exact same number. If you do not get the exact same number when you go up and down and then side to side, you messed up or your numbers are wrong. Okay, that's one way to tell if you did it correctly. These two should add up to the same thing that these two do. So let's check it. Let's see. I'm gonna check. 1831440 plus 148,265. I got 331,405.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see if you get the same thing that way. 176,544 plus 154,861. Did you get the same things?
Yeah.
So did we know we did our table right? That's how you know you did your table right, is if you get the exact same things. Because if you don't, you did it wrong. Cheryl, wake up. Hi, friend. All right, so that's a two-way table. Trying to make a little bit of sense?
Yeah.
Is it that bad?
No.
Okay. All right, we're gonna make it a little bit harder. Okay? Just a little bit. Because look at the next like little paragraph thing that they gave you. Did they give you just like any plain numbers there? No, they gave you what? Percentages. Oh, wasn't that so nice of them? Okay, they gave you percentages. Okay, so that means you have to take those percentages and turn them into numbers. Okay, so first things first, do you see your table? Is there anything written in there? No. Okay, so that means you have to figure out what to label all of this. So first of all, the labels for our stuff. What is this whole thing about? What's that paragraph about? Bird baths? Okay, so I'm gonna put bird baths. So, what types of bird baths do we have? Large ceramic, small wooden, large plastic. Okay. So, we have to figure that out. So, which one should I put where? Do you think it matters which ones go where?
Yeah.
Nope, it doesn't. Not one little bit. So, let's see. You said we had large and small? Okay. So I would put the sizes like on one side. There's large and small, and then there's wooden and plastic. And what should the last part of your tables always say? Total. Okay, all right. So, how do you find percentages of things? Or how do you find the amount if you know the percentage? Not divide. You're gonna multiply. But what do you always have to do to a percentage before you can do math with it? Change it to a decimal. So let's see. Valerie, how do you change 40% to a decimal? Huh? No. That's how I turn a number into a percent. Oh wait, what did you say divided by? 100? Okay, so divided by 100. So 40 divided by 100, we get...
0.4.
Okay, so, because they told you we had how many bird baths were sold in 1 month? 200. So where does that 200 go? Which total? The one on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because that's how many we sold all together for all of the bird baths. So 200 there. So if I want 40% of them were large bird baths, how do I figure out the large? And what is that for? Wooden, plastic, or total? Large total. So we're going to do 0.4 times 200. So what is 0.4 times 200? 80. So we had 80 large bird baths. So now we need 54% were ceramic. Or did they add a third one? Man. Let's try this again. So now that we fixed our table, and we added a ceramic section because now we see ceramic. All right, so 54% were ceramic. So let's see, where do I put that 54%? Large, small, or total? Total. So what do I do with 54% and 200? Multiply. Multiply what? 0.54 times 200. And how many bird baths? 108. Okay. And then it says 8% were small wooden bird baths. Okay. So what do I do with 8% for small wooden? Okay, divide by 100 and I get 0.08. And I multiply that with, okay. And where do I put the number if it says small wooden? Small where? Small wooden, because it says small wooden. So find small, find wooden, put it in that box. So how many do I put here? 16. All right, next bit says 24 large plastic. So what do I put? 24 under large and plastic. 24. Okay. And then it says the store sold 40 more plastic bird baths than wooden. Doesn't make sense. Why is math not mathing? Alright, nope, we're just skipping it. Turn it over. Math's not mathing, and I don't feel like wasting time to figure it out. Miss Howell must have typed something up wrong, or the problem's wrong, or it's not supposed to be table, one of the two. Or one of those three options. Alright, moving on. Next one, because I know this one works, because I did this one specifically. Okay, so Ashley wants to know if there is a difference in how people in their school get their news based on age. So, who did she ask? Who did Ashley ask? Students and teachers, okay. So she asked students and teachers what? Digitally or what? Digitally or print. So those are your categories. I need teachers and students, and then I need digitally or in print. Okay. And this is about how people get news. And the last two things should always say total. So I need a total here and a total here. Okay, so let's look at it. Let's see. So skipping down a little bit, it says she finds how many people? How many people? Where do I put that 100 people? So total for like digital, print, total. So this is all of my people. That's how many people. Let's see, it said 60 of them are teachers. So where do I put 60? Teachers total. And 40 are students. Where does that go? Total students. And you know 60 plus 40 is? So we know that works. Okay, it says to her surprise, 15 teachers and 15 students still get their news in print. So where do I put 15 at? Teachers print and students print. So how many prints are there? 30. So this should say 30. All right, you have to find the rest. So I need to find digital teachers. So how many teachers get digital news? Is there what? 45? Okay, how many students get digital news? What is it? 25, better. And then how many digital total? 70. Because again, 70 plus 30 is 100. All right, now, again, that's how you make a table. So here's the next step for this, okay? You're gonna take this table and you need to find something called the joint relative frequency, okay? So remember joint relative frequency. When you go to the front, what did we say the joint frequency was?
The first one.
So just to be clear, the 8, the 15, the 12, and the 10, all of these are joint frequencies. The 8, 12, 15, and 10. That's the joint frequency for each of those little categories, okay? So when I say to find the joint relative frequency, you're gonna find the percent for each of those little categories. So we're gonna take this table that we just did, okay, up here, and we're gonna find the percents of those little bits, okay? So basically you kind of want to copy the titles. Don't fill in all the numbers though. Just do these parts. So if we are finding percentages, right? How do you find a percent? You divide? by, okay, so that's how if you're turning a number into a percent, or you're turning a percent into a decimal, to find a joint relative frequency, you're gonna divide whatever your number is, okay, by the big total, so the total. Okay, so in this case, this total is going to be that 100 that we had up here. Okay, so we're gonna divide all of these numbers by 100 and figure out the percent and write it in here. That's a joint relative frequency. Okay, so again, we're dividing all of these numbers in here by that total of all of our people. So, like the first one, how many digital teachers do we have? So I need 45 divided by 100 and then change it to a percent. Okay, so we should get what? Okay, but that's not the percent. Is 45%. Okay, so what should the students be for digital? Because it's 25 out of 100. Now, the ones on your homework, you will actually have to do the math for. This one was a really easy example because it's out of 100. Okay, what about the digital total? Okay, again, it's 70 out of 100. Or 70%. Okay, so the print, it's what out of 100? 15 out of 100. So 15%. Okay. And then students print is the same thing. And then 30 out of 100 is what percent? 30%. And then what should the total be down here? 100%. Okay, now this bottom one should always be 100%. Why? It's the total. You're dividing it by the same thing, okay? Because this is what you're finding it out of. So this is basically saying all of the people out of all of the people. So that this bottom part should always be 100. If it's not, your math is wrong somewhere, or you type something in wrong. All right, and then these ones should be 40 out of 100, or 40%, and 60 out of 100, 60%. All right, so that is a joint relative frequency. Joint relative is when you find, I want you to write a little note next to the side. You find the percent of every box. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you. So you find the percent of every box. Okay. There's two other types of frequency. Okay, but I'm only covering joint relative in this next one because the other one, it's not really done a lot, so I'm kind of ignoring it. Okay, this next one is called conditional relative frequency. Okay, it can also be called marginal frequency depending on what the problem is. Okay, it's a little bit of both, but conditional relative frequency. Okay, so for marginal or conditional relative frequency, when you looked at this side, where did you see marginal? It's the total part, right? It's the total out of the what? The juniors, okay? So you see that 25? That's also a marginal frequency. That's the total out of the senior. So when I say find the marginal frequency or the conditional relative frequency, this is where you're going to find it out of that total, not the total, not all of it, just that one section. Okay? So like how, you see how Ms. Howell said for the teachers and students? You're gonna figure out what the percentages are just for the teachers column, or row, because that's a row. So you're gonna figure out what it is just for the teachers. I'm just gonna copy the table titles again. And you see how Ms. Howell didn't give you the bottom box for the totals? Why do you think that is? No, it's because you don't need them. You're not going to use them at all. Okay. Lanaya, Valerie. Okay, so up here we found the percent of every box and we divided by the total, like the big total, the one at the very bottom. So this time we're going to divide by what? What was this called again? It's called the marginal frequency. So that's what you're going to divide by. So divide by the marginal frequency. Okay? You're just dividing by what did the total say up here for teachers and students. So for teachers, we're going to divide by 60, and students we're going to divide by 40. There you go. Okay, so again, you can write that on the side. So teachers divide by 60, students divide by 40. So how many digital teachers did we have again? So you're gonna do 45 divided by 60. And what do we get? Huh? So what percent is that? 75%. Okay. Now, what was the digital students? 25. So you're going to do 25 divided by 40. Remember, students, we divide by 40. So what's 25 divided by 40? You can just put 62.5. If you want, you can round it to 63 or leave it at 62.5. It is up to you. All right, now for prints. Hey, how many print teachers were there again? 15, and it's 15 out of 60, which makes, this is part where you actually pick up a calculator and you use it and you're solving this, not, thanks. So what percent did we get again? 25%. Okay. And what was the students? How many print students are there? 15, but we're going to divide it by 40. Okay. When we divide it by 40, what do we get? So that's 37.5%, right? Okay, what should the total be? 100%. Good. Because when you look at it, see, look at your digital and print for your teachers. You have 75% and 25%. What's 75 and 25 make? 100. Okay, same thing here. If you added those, you should get 100. Because again, you're doing up here, you're finding 60 out of 60. That's 100. And for students, it would be 40 out of 40. That's 100. All right, so like I said, you have homework on this. It is on McGraw-Hill. This is all the things that you need to know.